Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, and this is Devotions from St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran Church in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm going to take a passage today from Matthew's Gospel. And Jesus is going to talk to his disciples about who they should love and how they should love. So this is the end of the 5th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. You have heard that it is said, "You shall love your neighbors and hate your enemies." But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be children of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun to shine on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers and sisters, what more are you doing than others? Do not even Gentiles do the same? Be perfect, therefore, as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is really hard reading for us, for any human being, because we're taught take care of your own. And we're taught to be competitive. And we're taught that it's a small pie and everybody's got to get their own share. Nobody's going to give to you. But Jesus says almost exactly the opposite to that. And he says, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Do good to those. It says elsewhere, particularly in Psalms, it says, when you do good to your enemies, you heap coals on their head and embarrass them. But I'm not sure that's what Jesus was talking about. I want to take a couple of examples from Jesus' own actions to highlight this, and then see what we can come up with all this. Depending upon which gospel you read, for the last meal that Jesus had with his disciples before he was betrayed and crucified, Jesus instituted the elements of the Eucharist, or he washed the disciples' feet. And in each case, one of the disciples that he ministered to was Judas. And he already knew, and in some cases had spoken, saying that one of you will betray me. And in either case, he still ministered to Judas. He carried out exactly what he said in this part of Matthew's Gospel about loving your enemies. In John's Gospel, Jesus says, I give you a new commandment at the same meal, that you love one another as I have loved you. And so the example that he set with the Eucharist and with the washing of feet is the example that we should take and try to carry out, because that's the example from Jesus. We should love and serve and do good things for those who hate us and those who oppose us, and not just for those who are our neighbors and our friends and our family. And yet that's not the way the world teaches us. And so this is a very difficult reading for us to follow. It's interesting to me that this past Sunday we had a supply pastor, and he spoke about prayer in much the same way. He said that it's always a struggle when we talk about prayer, because if we talk about prayer, save me from this problem or this person or this other, there's somebody that's praying directly counter to what we are praying. And it makes you think when you understand that individuals, people like you and me, have different motivations and different needs, at least as we define needs, and different ideas of what are right and wrong. And those things conflict. And so when we serve others, we tend to serve the ideas that we have. And when others do that service, they serve the ideas that they have. And there's more conflict. Jesus' teaching is certainly the standard, certainly an ideal, certainly something that we could strive for. And if everybody did it, this world would be an amazing, wonderful place. But it's populated with people, and not every person that populates this world follows Jesus or even tries to follow Jesus. And so we are going to run into conflict. So we have to make a choice. And the choice that Jesus is telling us is be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And as Jesus showed us when he took the road that he took that led to the cross, it's not always going to be easy. It may never be easy, but it's still the right road. We need to think hard and long about how we can act out, carry out, fulfill this teaching that Jesus gives us. And the first thing we need to figure out, it seems to me, is how we can get outside of our own human nature in order to do that. The answer, of course, is a close relationship with Jesus, so that led by his Spirit, we have the strength to do the things that he tells us to do. I commend the reading of this 5th chapter of Matthew to you. I think it's urgent. I think it's going to challenge. I think it's something that all of us struggle with. And I know, at least for myself, it's something that even when I struggle with, I fail more times than I care to count. I hope that you will read it. I hope you will take it to heart. I hope you will try to follow Jesus' teaching. Thank you.